most of people here Korean, and I'm afraid if I use English, I'm afraid I cannot deliver my message correctly. So I'm saying Korean. 잘 말씀을 들었고요. 뭐 이런 생각 지금 이렇게 들으면서 어떤 생각을 했냐. 평소에 좀 뭐 그런 생각 좀 있긴 있는데 지금 엄청난 변화들이 사실은 일어나고 있어요. 아까 혁명이라는 얘기도 했는데 저는 핀텍 지원 센터라께서 이제 그걸 또 맡고 있으면서 이제 그런 생각하는 것 중에 하나가 과거하고 혁명이라는 얘기를 하는데 지금 뭐 4차 산업혁명 물론 이제 4차라는 말 쓰지 않는 뭐 미국 같은 경우는 이제 그렇게 뭐 하는 경우도 있지만 이때까지 1, 2, 3차하고는 이번 4차는 참 많이 다르다. 이때까지 산업혁명이라고 얘기할 때는 다 제조발 혁명이었어요. 제조 쪽에서 나온 혁명이었지. 지금 같은 그런 혁명은 아니었다. 그럼 지금 혁명은 어떤 점에서 틀리냐? 물론 전 산업에 대해서 영향을 준다고들 얘기를 하고는 있지만 특히 빠른 게 오늘 뭐 이제 그 주제 중에 하나가 또 뭐 우리 화폐, 가상화폐 그런 얘기니까 금융 부문에서 일어나고 있다. 그게 왜 그런가? 이때까지 1, 2, 3차는 다 제조 쪽에서 혁명이 일어났고 테크니컬러지 기술적으로 금융이나 이런 서비스 쪽은 그걸 향유하는 거였지, 쫓아가는 거였지. 금융이 먼저 일어난 적이 없다. 근데 지금은 금융이 더 빠르다. 이게 왜 그런가? 이렇게 여러 가지 생각을 해봤어요. 그러니까 핀텍이라는 말 자체도 그래요. 핀텍은 우리가 파이낸스 플러스 테크놀로지라고 그러지만 IT 테크놀로지는 20년 전에도 금융에다 썼단 말이에요. 그럼 왜 지금 와서 핀텍인가 이런 생각을 해볼 수가 있는데 저는 그게 결국은 지금 유통혁명이 일어나서 그렇다. 유통혁명이랑 디스트리뷰션 레볼루션이 일어나서 그렇다라고 생각을 하고 있어요. 그러니까 그건 그 두 마리 괴물이라는 말을 제가 종종 쓰는데 구글의 GPS하고 우리 손안에 전부 갖고 있는 스마트폰하고 둘이 만나니까 생산자도 소비자도 다 실시간으로 시간 공간의 제약이 전혀 없이 정보를 제공할 수 있는 루트가 됐다. 생산자도 제공을 할 수가 있고 그걸 실시간으로 소비자가 자기 손안에서 언제 어디서나 받을 수 있는 그런 시장이 만들어졌다. 그게 이제 사실은 모바일 플랫폼, 디지털 시장, 손안의 시장 이게 다 된 거죠. 그게 되면서 모든 시장이 다 이제 디지털로 들어온다. 그럼 또 금융이 왜 이렇게 빠르냐? 저는 그 전에 아마존의 대쉬 같은 광고를 보면서 야 이거 대박이다 뭐 이런 생각을 한 적이 있었는데 대박이 아니더라고요. 그 다음에 별로 그렇게 막 뜨질 않아서 왜 이게 안 뜨나? 거기에 본질이 있는 것 같아요. 금융 같은 거는 그래서 우리가 수출 잘 안 된다 우리나라에서 뭐 그런 얘기도 하지만 이게 인텐저블해요. 무형이어가지고 볼 수 없고 만질 수 없고 실물 피지컬 어피어런스 갖고 있는 제품들이 아니죠. 그러다 보니까 우리가 모바일 속에 들어가지고 시장 속에 들어갔다는 얘기예요. 그래서 들어가서 뭐 체크해보고 온갖 상품들을 갖다 서비스 갖다 비교해보고 그다음에 의사결정까지 다 하는. 딴 것들은 리얼 어피어런스가 있는 것들은 주문해갖고 그걸 드론으로 아마 빨리 받는다 하더라도 배달 시간이 걸리는데 금융은 배달 시간이 전혀 걸리지 않다는 거서 there's no time to deliver. 그게 굉장히 중요한 요소다. 그러니까 소비자가 바로 그 자리에서 들어가서 모든 의사결정을 한 다음에 소비까지 할 수 있는 그런 것이 됐기 때문에 생산자도 정말 빠르게 거기에 대응하지 않으면 안 되는 그런 구조가 됐다 하는 것이 이게 디지털 플랫폼 레볼루션과 관련해서 금융이 먼저 지금 나가는 전자상거래 같은 경우는 훨씬 전에 뭐 20년 전부터 시작이 됐지만 지금 화두는 전자상거래 같은 것들이 화두가 아니잖아요. 그래서 금융이 오히려 4차 산업혁명 시대에는 무형이기 때문에 디지털 혁명하에서 더 빨리 지금 움직이고 있는 것이 굉장히 그 이때까지 혁명하고 다른 요소고 이게 저는 지금 블록체인과 가상화폐가 나오게 되는 어떤 또 다른 어떤 환경 중에 하나라 이렇게 생각을 하고 있어요. 그리고 또 하나는 이게 정보통신 발달하고 또 뭐 이게 세계화하고도 관련이 되어 있는 거지만 너무 초연결 사회로 우리가 다 연결돼 있다 보니까 에브리바디 다 알아요. 누가 뭐 영인의 집에서 옷이 몇 개인지 철순의 집에 숟가락이 몇 개인지 다 알고 있단 말이에요. 그래서 요새 나오는 게 공유경제잖아요. 쉐어드 이코노미인데 유유자산은 노는 꼴을 못 보는 거죠. 유유자산이 노는 꼴을 못 봐요. 이런 식으로 전부 연결이 돼 있다 보니까 그다음에 이제 어떤 일들이 일어나나 조사하면 다 나와요. 요새 뭐 청문회 하면 뭐 우리 뭐 보지만 조사하면 다 나오니까 비즈니스 모델 갖다 연결시켜서 생각하면 옛날에는 3대가 먹고 살았는데 이제는 3년을 못 먹고 살아요. 비즈니스 모델의 회임 기간이 점점 짧아진다는 얘기죠. 그거는 기업의 양극화를 가져와서 대기업이 무슨 뭐 불공정한 짓을 해서 그런 것뿐만이 아니라 구조적으로 기술 발달 때문에 이제는 한번 성공한 창업 기업이 그 다음 단계로 성장하는데 굉장히 어려움이 있다. 비즈니스 모델이 아주 회귀가 짧아져서 그건 결국은 과거에 거기에 대응해서 자금 조달했던 은행이나 금융이 커버하지 못한 영향이 굉장히 커졌어요. 시장 실패 내지는 취약 영향이 많아졌다. 이런 걸 누군가가 커버해줘야 된다. 그래서 점점 새로운 수단이 지금 기존의 제도권 금융 갖고는 안 되는 부분들이 커졌다는 거고, 그래서 지금 어느 나라나 다 벤처 창업과 중소기업 이거 갖다가 육성하려고 굉장히 노력들을 많이 하는데, 이게 지금 접목이 된 게 아까 나왔던 ICO하고도 지금 관련이 돼 있어요. 그래서 저는 이 금융이 4차 산업혁명 시대에 굉장히 전면에 나서 움직이는 본질적인 그런 이유 플러스 어떤 그런 기업 생태계라든지 우리 경제 구조적인 문제점을 풀려고 하는 그런 환경의 큰 변화가 지금 블록체인이라든지 이런 가상화폐의 뒷단에 있는 상당히 굉장히 중요한 이유다 이렇게 생각을 하고 있고요. 또 이제 조금 더 첨언을 하면 그 4차 산업혁명 자체도 요새 굉장히 그 데피니션에 대해서 많은 얘기들 하고 뭐 설명이 많은데, 저는 그냥 심플하게 4차 산업혁명이란 디지털 플랫폼 레볼루션 플러스 A, B, C, D 혁명이다 또는 IIT 혁명이다 이렇게 생각했어요. 전단은 4차 산업혁명은 결국은 유통혁명, 시장혁명인데 아날로그에서 디지털로 바뀌는 스마트폰을 갖고 있으면 생기는 변화고, 거기에 진정한 이제 산업혁명이 기술혁명이 들어가는데 어떤 기술이냐면
Thank you, Professor Chung.
질문 하나 할게요.
Just finished. Thank you so much.
Education. Sorry, time is tight. I give a question.
Sure. You want to ask one question?
Yes. Mr. Valery, yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Now we've seen a lot rocket, virtual currency, cryptocurrency. The price of virtual currency is skyrocketing, right? So behind that, many people say there are some real demand for the virtual currency. So probably I think one of those real common demand would be a blockchain demand, because the blockchain and the virtual currency is pretty related in each other. But some people say, what if the blockchain without the cryptocurrency work well? What happened to the skyrocketing price of the cryptocurrency? So you are right now operating blockchain plus Bitcoin company. So what do you opinion?
I think if we're talking about the pricing and all this stuff, I think all the investors and people are investing in cryptocurrency just because they see the potential, they believe in this technology. And it's only beginning. It's just like having some small piece of the internet 20 years ago. And if we're talking about cryptocurrency and blockchain, yeah, there are a lot of different types of blockchains. And but I think all those technologies are making, let's say, combination of all those technologies will make the next digital revolution. I would call it not revolution, I would call it evolution, yeah, because this will be huge, this will be next internet, yeah.
Simon.
I just wanted to follow that point if I can, because I think the question was, do people believe in the blockchain, or are they investing because it's simply speculation? Was that the core of your question? I think it sort of was, wasn't it? It was, do they believe in the technology? Yeah. So my view is that the overwhelming majority of early investors truly believed in the technology, that the first investors in Bitcoin were the true believers. Now in 2017, maybe that's not so much the case. Now people have seen the price rise and they just talk about and think about the price all day. But the early investors believed in the technology. But the question goes to the core of what gives Bitcoin its value. Why does it have value if there's no central bank behind it? To which I would ask you another question. Why did diamonds have value before we used them in industry? Or why did many precious stones have value that we don't use in industry? They have value because people believe they are scarce, they are beautiful, they are interesting. Many commodities in the world exist because humans give them value. This was Brett's point as well, I think, that in Venezuela, a central bank stands behind the Venezuelan currency, but it loses value. Nobody stands behind diamonds, and yet they gain value. So there are industries in which commodities gain value, even though there is no central bank. So we have to move away from the word currency into asset, and then we can start to understand the subject better.
Brett?
There's actually, as part of the Industrial Revolution, if you look on the stock market of the United States, in the US today, the 4 largest companies are tech companies. And so we're going to see a dominance of technology companies as the global, industrial players over the next 20 to 30 years. As a result of that, the businesses that used to trade in commodities to provide their value, particularly in oil, they're going to start to lose their value. So companies like Exxon and so forth, as the oil price plummets, commodities start to lose their value, and you have to replace that capital flow with something else. So it is reasonable to expect on a market operations basis, as commodities decrease in value, that we will see the emergence of cryptocurrencies as a digital form of commodity.
Right, thanks very much. We can continue this discussion, but I'd like to introduce the final panelist, Tae-Bong Kim. Would you like to make some comments, please, for up to 5 minutes on what you see as the interesting issues and the interesting questions here?
네, 저는 블록체인의 그 성공 가능성과 그리고 발전성을 분명히 믿습니다. 다만 블록체인의 장점이 보안성과 신뢰성을 기반으로 하는 것인데 문제점이 존재하고 있습니다. 여전히요. 그중에 대표적인 게 적절하지 않은 인증에 대한 기술을 아직도 쓰고 있다는 것과 또 하나가 해킹의 위협입니다. 여기서 말하는 적절하지 않은 인증의 위협이라는 것은 시스템 구조 자체의 위협적인 인증이 아니라 그것의 소유자, 권한자, 접근자들이 과연 그 금고의 주인이냐, 그 전자지급의 주인이냐를 확인하는 부분이죠. 자, 이 부분은 아직도 풀어야 될 숙제가 남아있고 이를 보완하기 위해서 여러 생체 인증이나 또는 투팩터 인증들이 결합이 되고 있기 때문에 점차 개선이 될 거라고 봅니다. 그리고 가장 이런 블록체인의 여러 가지 위협들이 나타나고 있는데요. 대표적인 공격 유형은 현재 6가지 정도 분류가 됐습니다. 그래서 블록체인의 인프라스트럭처, 코드, 사이트, 그리고 월렛, 그리고 노드에 대한 공격들이 있었고요. 그중에 노드에 대한 공격을 저는 되게 치명적으로 위협적으로 보는데 블록체인의 기본적인 구조 자체가 51% 이상의 노드, 참여 디바이스만 시스템만 점유할 수 있다면 모든 것을 뒤집을 수가 있는 구조를 갖고 있습니다. 그게 장점이면 곧 단점이 될 수도 있거든요. 그런 측면에서 노드에 대한 51% 이상을 점유할 수 있냐에 대한 공격이 그냥 치명적인 공격이라고 보는데 현재 아직도 다수의 블록체인 응용 기업들은 자신들이 직접 서버를 사서 IDC에 구축을 하고 자신들이 관리를 합니다. 자, 어떻게 보면 블록체인의 그 노드라는 관점에서 봤을 때는 정반대되는 잘못된 생각을 갖고 있는 것이기도 하죠. 그렇다는 얘기는 뭐냐면 자기들이 말이 시스템 구조상 블록체인이 노드로 구성하고 있을 뿐이지 실제는 자기들이 서버이고 자기들이 구성하고 운영과 관리하는 거기 때문에 만약에 내부자나 제3자가 그 서버를 탈취한다면 한 번에 다 털릴 수가 있는 거죠. 자, 이런 위험성은 사실상 별로 얘기를 안 하고 있고 광고하고 있는 부분이기도 합니다. 즉 블록체인의 가장 큰 강점, 비트코인 성공할 수 있는 이유는 도대체 참여자가 어디에 있는지 누군지 아무도 모른다는 거죠. 다만 시스템을 신뢰하기 때문에 돌아가는 거고 이런 부분에서 앞으로 분명히 발생될 위협이 바로 이런 식의 51% 이상의 노드를 한 번에 점유하는 형태의 공격들이 개별 블록체인, 특히 보안이 취약한 블록체인 기업들을 대상으로 이루어질 것이라고 판단이 되고요. 이런 부분에 있어서 보다 강한 보안이 필요할 거라고 의견이 들어서 말씀드렸습니다. 이상입니다.
Well, thank you very much. Let's talk about the security threats to the blockchain. There were some problems with money going missing a couple of times. There were the various places like MT-GOX, where money was removed from. And then there were bugs with Ethereum and the implementation of the DAO, in which money was, again, diverted. Is this something we should be concerned about, or is it well under control? Simon first, and then we'll hear from the others.
Yeah, because there was 2 points. There's the 51% attack that was mentioned here, and then there's the parity hack and DAO and MT-GOX where money's been stolen. So the 51% attack is a unique problem to Bitcoin and any proof-of-work-based blockchain. They're not all proof-of-work-based. So there are many different ways you can design the security for your blockchain. It doesn't have to be just that. And the likelihood of a 51% attack is limited, not because it's technically impossible, but because it's economic suicide. If you were to attack the Bitcoin network and control more than 51% of it, the value of the Bitcoins that you have would plummet. So you would be destroying your own future revenue if you attacked the Bitcoin network with a 51% attack. Now, does that mean there are no problems? Not at all. There are many, many problems with Bitcoin, many problems, but it is a young technology. This is like looking at your 2-year-old son or daughter and saying it's not ready to get through college yet. Your child will get there. It will take some time. It will get better. It will get faster. To the point about MT-GOX and to the DAO, when somebody uses a technology badly, we tend to blame the technology, not the user. So in the example of MT-GOX, what happened was this technology was usable. Bitcoin was out there. And a bit like I have a wallet in my pocket and you have a wallet in your pocket, MT-GOX had one very big wallet where we could all put our money, everybody in this room would put their money in the MT-GOX wallet. And the problem was the administrators of MT-GOX left that wallet there, sitting there on the table, and when they went to bed at night, they hadn't put the wallet away. So somebody came along and took the money and blamed Bitcoin as being insecure. But it wasn't Bitcoin that was insecure, it was the user who you gave your money to or who you gave your Bitcoins to that had behaved badly. Same's true with the DAO. It's a bit more complicated with the parity hack. But the problem, so a friend of mine was involved in the early days of the internet in the formation of ICANN and W3C. And she told me that many of these problems are very familiar. We see these with the emergence of any technology. And so we tend to judge it as being a bad thing. But I do think the point is right. We need to think about governance. We need to think about control. And we need to think about how we educate users to manage their own security. That's really important.
Anybody else want to talk about security? Brett?
I think this is where, you know, if you think about security in the banking system today, you know, what we have is we have a system where banks have, you know, this, they will say military-grade architecture, right, behind their custom firewalls. The reality is today that the cloud system that Amazon has is frankly way more secure than the biggest banks in the world in terms of their IT architecture. So when you talk about the robustness of the systems, we're just a couple of hacks away from loss of total confidence in the banking system transactionally, theoretically, right? Although, you know, there are protections in place. The DLT technology is sort of a self-reinforcing technology in that respect, highly auditable, you know, hard to hack. So despite the forks and so forth we've seen, once this technology is mature, we can expect it to be more secure and more robust than the banking system we have today. But the bigger challenge is that right now today, participation in the banking system is restricted based on your identity. Right? And we have large-scale financial exclusion globally based on the fact that people don't have identity documents. So things like a driver's license You know, in the United States, 25% of households are underbanked because they need a driver's license or a passport to get access to credit and a bank account in the United States. And people don't have these. And autonomous vehicles that Brad talked about yesterday, you know, self-driving cars are going to decrease people using driver's licenses, so the possibility of financial exclusion is higher. So how you get people in sub-Saharan Africa or, you know, in the villages of China or the rural parts of India onto a system requiring identity? Well, you can either create sort of a blockchain-based identity system, or you can say that we have to detach transactions from identity. And if you're going to do that, you have to move away from the structure, the way we secure transactions in the existing banking system, and you have to work with something that's transactionally robust in itself, and that's where DLT or blockchain technologies have superiority over the existing banking systems.
Valerie, anything you want to add based on anything you've heard in the last hour or so?
In our world, imagine almost 3 billion people are unbanked. Almost 3 billion people don't have bank account totally in our world. And our world is moving to the new digital era, yeah? And soon, I think 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 years from now, our world will be covered by the global Wi-Fi. So all those people in these countries, they will have access to internet. What they will connect to? Will they connect to existing systems? Most likely not, because the infrastructure is not in place. Will they buy some very low-cost smartphone? Most likely. What they will install inside this smartphone? Bitcoin wallet? Cryptocurrency applications? Most likely. Imagine 3 billion people what will be connected during the next 5 to 10 years.
There are countries in Africa in which many people who were unbanked did start storing their money in the M-Pesa system in Kenya, for example, as unused minutes on their phone account. And afterwards, because they had a track record of using M-Pesa, they were able to get traditional banking accounts. So I see this, indeed, the next generation of cheaper smartphones with a cryptocurrency wallet on board can drive up better financial inclusion. Taebong, if I can come back to you on the security and hacking question. You asked about 51%. It could get control, but then Simon said that's not very feasible. It would be economic suicide. I don't know if you have a reply to that.
만약에 제가 공격을 한다면요, 무식하게 블록체인 비트코인 체계를 공격하진 않아요. 말씀하신 대로 자살하기 맞으니까. 다만 어떤 다른 목적, 예를 들어서 보안이 취약한 블록체인 응용 기업, 즉 이런 기업들은 자기들이 이런 블록체인, 지금 비트코인 같은 블록체인망에 들어온 게 아니라 자체망을 갖고 있는 거죠. 한 군데 한 곳에 자신들이 서버들을 구축해 놓고 이들끼리 블록체인을 구사한 거죠. 자, 이런 경우라면 보다 쉽게 해킹을 해서 그들의 권한을 탈취할 수가 있습니다. 오실표 안에 100%를 다 뺏을 수가 있죠. 그리고 협박을 하겠죠. 너희 서버를 내가 암호화시켜서 잠가놨다. 돈을 주면, 비트코인 나한테 돈을 주면 내가 풀어줄게. 랜섬웨어 같은 공격이겠죠. 이런 식의 공격들이 충분히 일어날 수 있고, 뭐 블록체인 기업을 상대로 한 건 아니지만 이미 한국에서 IDC 웹 호스팅하는 업체를 대상으로 이런 식의 공격들이 있었기 때문에 충분히 예견될 수 있는 것이라고 판단하는 겁니다.
So TV조선 is not endorsing giving any money to hack these accounts. But that's something we should all think about. I've had a whole bunch of questions passed to me from the Cacao Forum. I'd like to spend a few minutes on some of them. We've talked about security, but what about privacy? Are there privacy risks with blockchain technology? For example, if the blockchain can't be changed and data is uploaded to the blockchain, doesn't mean that data is visible forever, even though we might want it to be undone.
Can I take that?
Simon?
So let's think about it this way. If you know that data is going to be there forever, would you be very thoughtful about what data you put there? Let me illustrate the point by giving you an example. There's a company called Everledger. The CEO, Leanne Kemp, is from the same country as Brett King. She's an Australian. She'd worked in the diamond industry for many years. The diamond industry had been subject to many companies being hacked to change the value of diamonds simply by modifying records. The diamond industry has a real theft problem because when you steal a diamond, you have all of its value immediately. The diamond industry also had another problem that when diamonds were recovered by the police or anybody in law enforcement, 60% of those diamonds were then sold at auction, and they were sold at auction because you couldn't find the original owner. Now, when Leanne saw this problem, she realized that she could put the diamonds themselves on something like the Bitcoin blockchain. Because if she can prove that there is this one diamond, this diamond is unique, there is no other diamond like it in the world, and nobody can ever edit that record that the diamond exists. But then she didn't put who the owner is on the blockchain. What she did is she linked that record in the Bitcoin blockchain to her own private blockchain and made the link between the two extremely secure. Much like you would make anything secure today with Amazon Web Services, she used best-in-class security, but as was pointed out, those things can still be hacked. But the point was, if this diamond turned up somewhere in the world, the police could say, this diamond is registered on the Bitcoin blockchain, and it has an owner, and that owner is held in the database by Everledger. You didn't know who the owner was, but you knew there was an owner.
So if you think ahead, there's no fears of privacy issues. Brett?
Well, there's another element of this is we are going to have to get used to the fact that privacy is changing. We've seen the Equifax hack in the United States. So we now know that a data point like a social security number, your date of birth, your address, your mother's maiden name, those data points are really no longer securable. So no matter what technology we apply, I'm doubtful we can ever make that data secure again. So then when you start thinking about identity that's robust enough to exist in the future, you have to start using things like your DNA, your fingerprint, your voice, things that aren't corruptible, that can't be copied and assumed by someone else to assume your identity, right? So I think we are going to have to get used to the fact that some of that data, whether it's secure, it needs to be out there to ensure our identity it remains true. Secondly, I think we're going to have to start thinking about our own data as a tradable commodity, and the fact that we will give that data, we will give up some of that privacy in order to get access to basic services. Like, for example, you'll give your medical records in order, or you might wear a heart rate monitor in order to get a cheaper insurance coverage. So there'll be an exchange of data. I think that's where privacy is going.
Let's ask about forks. There's a question, what do you think about the Bitcoin forks, such as Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Gold? Is that a good development or a bad development, or it's just business as usual?
I believe in Bitcoin as it is, and if fork was created and it exists, the question is who is supporting the fork, and why the Bitcoin is so secure by itself, original Bitcoin, because it's supported by thousands of brilliant developers globally. It's open source movement, and yeah.
Simon?
So the fork is neither good nor bad, it just is. I think different people had different ideas of what they wanted Bitcoin to be. Some people wanted Bitcoin to be the new gold. They wanted it to be the safe place to put your money and for its value to constantly increase, no matter what. Other people wanted it to be electronic cash. And what we've seen is, as Bitcoin has gotten older and gotten bigger, the people who wanted it to be gold have seen its value increase, but the transactions, as Brett was saying in the green room earlier, have gotten very, very slow and very, very expensive. It now costs about $5 to move any amount of money on Bitcoin. So it costs a cup of coffee to buy a cup of coffee. That's not good for a cash system, but it doesn't matter if it's a gold system, if it's something where I'm going to increase in the value. What it has done is it's split the value of Bitcoin into two currencies. And it means that this one history that we had that was perfect and immutable is now split in two. So which one is the right one? And if they split in two again, and they split in two again, which one do I follow? So as it becomes more and more fragmented, it does get difficult to understand, it gets difficult to work with, and possibly even use. However, the main Bitcoin core still represents more than 70 to 80% of the market value, and as a result is probably going to be the winner in the long term, but it could happen in any different direction. So do people want it to be cash, or do they want it to be gold? That's the question.
We're down to in the last 5 minutes, and I know we have to stop. I'm going to ask everybody to make a closing statement, 1 minute at most, and anything you think deserves to be highlighted, or you may answer this question, which is to ask, on a scale from 0 to 100, how far do you think we have progressed in the true commercialization of blockchain? Have we seen 10% of the possible benefits, or are we still even before that? So let's start with Valerie, and then come down one by one in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
I think from scale from 0 to 100, on blockchain commercialization, we're in the below 5%. Because now what is happening, a lot of pilot projects is done, but how to make money, how to commercialize it, it is just starting. It's just starting. It's the beginning.
And if you were to come back next year, or in 2 years' time, how far do you think we'll have made progress?
Next year it could be 10-15%.
Okay. Tae-Bong Kim?
네, 제 생각도 비슷한데요. 저는 현재 1%도 안 된다고 보고요. 다만 2년 뒤라면 10% 정도는 올릴 거라고 봅니다.
Any other final comments?
네. 예.
Professor Chung?
뭐 그렇다 그러면은 뭐 앞으로 10년 이상 걸린다는 얘기인데, 저 비트코인이라는 가상화폐가 결국은 이렇게 막 가격이 뜨면서 여러 가지 그 문제가 생기는데, 저는 그 실수요 블록체인 때문에 사실은 이제 그게 나중에 연결돼서 했다고 생각하는데, 계속 그런 그 포텐셜만 갖고서 갈 것 같다는 생각이 드는데, 궁금한 거는 이게 성격 규정이죠. 가상화폐에 대해서 사실 화폐로 나왔으니까 아마 그 처음에 저 블록체인 만들어서 비트코인 했을 때는 화폐로 생각을 했을 텐데, 지금은 뭐 거의 금융자산 주식 형태가 돼 버렸기 때문에 이게 이제 그런 금고 같은, 아까 우리 저 얘기했지만 그렇게 되면 이게 블록체인 기반화해서 사고 팔고 하는 그런 그 코인으로 사용할 수 있는 그런 기능 역할이 앞으로 어떻게 될 것인가 좀 궁금합니다. 질문 겸 파이널 코멘트. 재사님 얘기해 주시면.
Thanks.
So I think if you think in internet terms, we're in the second half of 1995 in blockchain terms. However, we're going to get to 2010 in about half the time it took us to develop those technologies on the internet. So we're going to see the commercialization more rapidly, primarily because the utility of blockchain from a commercial perspective is more evidently, is more evident than the internet was in the early stages there. A lot of commercial companies, big companies, stayed away from the internet. HSBC didn't launch internet banking until 2001, as an example. You will not see those sort of delays with blockchain technology. So I think the future on blockchain is very bright. On the Bitcoin stuff, I think Simon's right in terms of it's turned into a crypto asset, not a cryptocurrency in classic terms. And I think that is a design fault of Bitcoin if it was intended to be a global currency. And I think that's why you need the forks to create different flavors of Bitcoin that work for different use cases or scenarios.
I think we're seeing this Cambrian explosion of different ideas and fragmentation of many, many ideas. And that means it's going to be a few years yet until things are commercialized and ready to use. But my final point is when I said Web 3.0, what I think we're really talking about with Web 3.0 is instead of building railway lines and bridges and roads, the future infrastructure will be, for the fourth industrial revolution, will have crypto assets as the fuel for that economy and will help us build the infrastructure for how we do energy in the future, how we do peer-to-peer energy, sales and distribution that is generated locally as one example. So Web 3.0 is what powers the fourth industrial revolution.
So lots of exciting and interesting times ahead. Thank you very much, panelists. You've done a great job.